and little black boys would join hands with little white girls and little white boys. I have a dream today. What a powerful statement. I have a dream. Can you remember the last time you dreamed? Think about it. If you had your life to live over again, which of your dreams would you use to replace your historical reality? What would be your dream today? Annette Funicello once said, a dream is a wish that the heart makes. And I'm pretty sure each and every one of you can remember that question every elementary school teacher asked, and is probably still asking today. What do you want to be when you grow up? And can you remember the clear and precise answer that immediately came to mind as you raised your hand and shouted? A doctor, a lawyer, a teacher, or perhaps even an astronaut. But somehow, as we get older, reality begins to crowd our dreamscape, and our desires, ambitions, and aspirations are all blurred by the myopic view of the here and now. You see, we become preoccupied with everyday living that we stop taking the time to dream. But what causes us to compromise our dreams along the journey? Well, I'm glad you asked. I like it already. You're asking the right questions. Come, journey with me as we explore the three most common walls of resistance that prevent us from fulfilling our dreams and accomplishing our goals. Wall number one, or otherwise known as old man procrastination. Well, I've been thinking about doing that. It's just that I just don't have the time right now. Does that sound familiar? You see, most of us are preoccupied to take the time to pursue our goals. By show of hands, I can just get you to raise your hands. How many of you tonight have taken the time to set goals for yourself? Just raise your hand if you set goals. They can be personal, thank you, such as building your dream home, or becoming debt-free, or investing in your child's education. Or they could be professional. Perhaps you want to further enhance your project management skills, or further develop your leadership qualities, or even get a promotion. Be it personal or professional, have you taken the time to set goals for yourself? For those of you that raised your hand, you're well on your way. You see, once you set a goal, you're giving yourself a message that you're planning to make a change in life. And for those of you, it was only a few, that did not raise your hand, let me ask you, how will you know if you have arrived, if you have no idea where you're going? Let me make a suggestion for you. Take time, make an appointment with yourself, and take the time to pursue your dreams each day. Take, for example, Walt Disney. Orlando, Florida, Epcot, and I think his new one is Animal Kingdom. Walt Disney had a goal. His goal was to make children laugh. How did he do it? He envisioned a mouse. We refer to him as Mickey and sometimes Minnie. He envisioned a mouse and built grocery store, and it failed. His second attempt at success, he said, let's try the political route. And he tried that and was defeated. He said, okay, I'll try business or entrepreneurship just one more time. And he failed there too. And it was after his second failure at becoming a businessman that this young man suffered a nervous breakdown. But in spite of that, he was still determined to be successful. And for the next 25 years of his life, he was constantly climbing over, going around, and going through obstacles. And it was 30 years, not a day, not a month, not a year, but 30 years later, 30 years after his first attempt at success, this man overcome poverty, ignorance, debt, and personal grief to win this nation's highest office. Can any of you guess who this great man was? You're absolutely correct. For those of you who said it was our 16th president, Abraham Lincoln, you're right. You see, Abraham Lincoln set goal after goal after goal after goal. He overcame obstacle after obstacle after obstacle after obstacle. He persisted in pursuing his dream. And not only was he successful, but we, this entire nation, the United States of America, is a testimony to the power of his dream. You see, Abraham Lincoln is one of the most loved, respected, revered, and remembered presidents in our political party's history. Why? Because Abraham Lincoln set goals. He overcame obstacles. He set goals. He overcame obstacles. He set goals, and he overcame obstacles and persevered. Let Lincoln's life be an example that you too can overcome your obstacles. So you say, okay,